Hey guys, Ivan here, and in today's video we got a couple of really interesting bodybuilding updates. The first thing we got is a new physique update from Martin Fitzwater. So Martin posted this on his story. I did not catch it when it happened, but people sent it to me, and what I can see right here, and I'm sure all of you would agree with me, is that he doesn't really look like he did, in fact, lose a lot of size. You know, he did seem a lot smaller, especially in that first physique update of his. It was a post-cardio selfie in which he looked really dried out, really tired and small and flat. In the next update he posted, he also seemed a little bit smaller. His legs did seem big, but the upper body looked kind of smaller. And now here, I can say that he actually didn't lose any size. I mean, he probably started eating carbs back again, and it's been a couple of days since he started refreshing his body. He got in needed condition, and now probably he doesn't need to go super hard until the end of the show. Now, in his previous physique update, he actually said in the caption, sprint to the finish. So it sounded to me like he's gonna keep doing all that crazy stuff until the very last day. Sometimes it's necessary. Maybe you remember a couple of years ago when everybody saw Big Ramy doing like 2 hours of cardio like a day before the Mr. Olympia, which he I think ended up winning. So sometimes when you are really behind with condition, you're gonna continue doing the cardio until, well, maybe not the last day or the day before the show, but until a couple of days out. It happens when it's necessary. If you need to burn more body fat, you're gonna try and burn as much as possible until the show happens. Of course, burning fat the day before the show is probably counterproductive, but in some cases, when cardio actually makes you look better, you're gonna keep doing it until the last day or train. Some guys do that, and Big Ramy did that. Now, with Martin, it's different because he was really trying hard to get in shape, and it sounded to me, that caption sounded to me like he's gonna keep doing that until the very last moment. But I don't know if that is the case or not, but what I can see right here is that he has decent amount of size. What I can also notice is that that left bicep of his looks weird for sure, right? I mean, look at it. It looks like it was torn almost, but it wasn't. What is causing a bicep to look like this? Only one thing, guys, and you know what that one thing is, especially with Martin. Like 3 years ago, this guy had 0 arms, flat, completely, no arms. And the next year, he had crazy biceps. So yeah, you don't do that in 1 year from just training if it didn't happen after 15 years of training. So yeah, he's doing a lot of SEO, I'm sure, especially his arms. He needs to, because his arms used to be a weak point. You can see it here more clearly that something was done to this, to both of the biceps, of course. But as far as his conditioning, you know, it looks okay. It looks decent. It looks like he's going to be ready. I don't think he's going to be off. More importantly, is he going to be big enough? I would say so, yeah. I don't think he's going to be any smaller. Maybe a little bit, but probably his same size. We'll see about the condition. Will he be, you know, Prague Pro conditioned and peaked? That's a question. That's very difficult to achieve. It's probably a once in a lifetime kind of a peak for Martin, but we'll see. I don't think this is going to be the best Martin ever because the way he approached this prep, because the way he had to approach this prep, but you never know. Sometimes even the nastiest and ugliest preps end up being great in the end. So we'll see about that. As of right now, you can see what Martin looks like. What do you guys make of it? Tell me down below in the comments. All right, the next thing we got is a part of the video Derek Lunsford posted in which he's talking about some interesting topics. The video was clipped, it's everywhere on social media, and it's causing a lot of traction, a lot of drama, a lot of talk, a lot of controversy. And in this video, I had to include this. So let's listen to Derek Lunsford, and then I'll give you my take on this.
You know, there's some people out there that says, oh, it's so easy to get your pro card now. There's so many pro cards given out every year. Well, you know what? Even though there might be more pro cards giving out, the competition's so much harder. You know, it's like, listen, there's a lot of people that want to be an IBB pro, want to be an Olympian, and want to be Mr. Olympia. And so I don't care what people say. Right now is the best and most challenging time to be the top bodybuilder in the world, or even an IFBB pro. People are going to dispute that. They're going to argue that, no, like I said, there's a lot of pro cards given out. Anybody can get a pro card.
All right. I mean, I don't know where to begin, honestly. So, first of all, yes, there are definitely way more pro cards given out these days compared to back then. But back then, when somebody would turn pro, a lot of those guys would, end up placing second at the Mr. Olympia, something like that. Like Dorian Yates turned pro first year, second at Mr. Olympia. Kevin Liveroni, the same thing. I think Flex Wheeler also. So many of the guys were already at the top level that when you actually win a pro card, you're basically a top Olympian or an Olympian. So it's not the same today. Today you need to climb the ranks. Just winning a pro card is only one step. It's not close to being an Olympian. It's the same as back in the day being a decent national level amateur, for example. Of course, there were far less competitors back then, but as far as getting to the top, you either had it back then or you have it today, and that's it. So I don't think anything changed. There is just a lot more competitors, and a pro card is devalued. It's not as value as it was back in the day. It holds a different meaning today, but the competition is pretty much, I would say, the same in that sense. Now, if you're talking about the top 10 at the Mr. Olympia, which era had better quality, 90s, early 2000s, 2010s, or 2020s, I would say 2020s are probably the worst, let's be honest. I mean, who are the winners? Derek Lunsford with zero details in his entire front body. Harry Chopin, also super short guy like Derek, with a bunch of cinto in his shoulders and everywhere, really. Samson Dauda, without even shredded glutes and conditioning overall, being very poor. Big Ramy, not really a conditioned guy with not a lot of details in his physique. Brandon Curry before that. So yeah, this last era, the last, 6, 7 years, 6, 7, they are not really that great, right? So in that sense, I would say today's era is definitely far worse than, for example, the 90s. That was probably the peak of bodybuilding. Also, early 2000s with Ronnie and Jay, and then Phil and Kai. The very top of the bodybuilding was better back in the day, for sure. But as far as getting to that top, I don't know, it's just different, man. Like, before we had those legacies, so if you were a second guy at the Mr. Olympia, it was way more difficult for you to win the Mr. Olympia compared to today. Today you can be first one day and six the next, 1 year and six the next year. Before it was different in that way. So for the top guys, I would say it's easier to win the Mr. Olympia, but as far as getting to that top 5, top 6, top 10 of the Mr. Olympia, it's probably equally as hard. But if you talk about the quality of the physiques at the very top, I wouldn't say this era is the best. That's my opinion, guys. If you disagree, you can tell me down below in the comment section. All right, the next thing we got is a physique update by Rafael Brandao with less than 2 weeks out of the Arnold Classic. And looking at this photo right here, I'm sure many of you are worried about Rafael's conditioning. Is he going to be ready or is he going to be behind? Especially that lower belly is what makes me a little bit scared for what Rafa is going to bring, actually. And overall, I would say his conditioning, especially the inner thighs, the chest, to really everything on his body, doesn't look super dry, doesn't look super conditioned. There is also this video he posted. It's him posing for his coach, Neil Hill. And Neil Hill is very open and honest. Recently, he actually said to Mike Sommerfeld, and imagine that, to Mike Sommerfeld, the biggest egomaniac in bodybuilding, that he is not ready, that he is not there yet, that he has good body fat percent, but his look is not there. He is not the quality is not there. Which was true, but Neil said it. He didn't keep it for himself and just told Mike what to do. No, he was actually open about it. He told Mike what is the issue. And now I'm looking at this video and I'm thinking, if I was on Neil Hill's position right here, I would be panicking. I think, if I was prepping Rafa for the first time, And Neil does not seem like that at all. He seems like he is happy with what he's seeing. And me, also knowing better, I can see definitely why he feels so confident, because I would say the same thing was last year, or actually 2 years ago, when Rafa competed at the Arnold and looked his absolute best ever to the third spot. He didn't look any more conditioned than this, guys, honestly. And I spoke about this many times. Rafa looks better when he's bigger and fuller compared to when he's more streamlined but shredded. This guy can get shredded very easily. I remember him talking about before the Arnold Classic, he was eating like 900 grams of carbs in his prep because he was just trying to maintain his fullness. So, yeah, I think Neil Hill knows exactly what he's doing. He's saving as much fullness as possible on Rafa until the very last moment, and then he's going to dry him out just enough. He probably knows that Rafa is holding a layer of water as well, so he's going to get leaner once he's actually fully carved up and dehydrated. But as far as maintaining the fullness and the size, I think they're doing a great job with that, and this is shaping up to me like another really good version of Rafa, like that Arnold Classic. Is going to be a better version than Arnold Classic, the previous Arnold Classic. I don't think so. I don't think Rafa improved a lot. He had that stomach issue recently, so he wasn't able to really do bodybuilding fully in this off-season. He just came back basically with a short off-season. So, no, I think he's not going to be better, but best case scenario, he's going to be the way he was in 2024, maybe slightly improved in certain details, and that's it. I don't know where he's going to place, but I think he's going to look good. I don't think he's going to be off. That's what I'm trying to say. What do you guys think? Tell me down below. All right, the next update is something that is very interesting. I don't know if there's any truth to it, but it's worth a mention at least. Josema, seems to be pushing for the open class, potentially. Now, he posted a bunch of photos. He was pretty inactive for a while, and all of a sudden, he's posting a whole bunch of new physique updates, and in them, he is looking gigantic, man. And he also shaved his head, not really shaved his, but he cut his hair, and he therefore looks even bigger because his head is smaller now. But he definitely gained a ton of size. He's bulking properly. He got massive. And, the thing is, somebody also wrote this, I think it's AJ Kelly Roberts. He says it now, Josema is 122 kilos, and his stage weight, his cap is 99 kilos. And just take a look at this photo, man. Does this look like a classic guy to you? To me, definitely does not. This looks like an open bodybuilder. When I saw this photo, for example, I thought this was Brett Wilkin. That was my first thought, but then I took a closer look and I saw that it's actually Josema. So this guy is definitely trying hard to put on size. But then again, like I said, I don't know for a fact, because I don't know if he's really trying hard to put on size, or is this just his off-season look and he's going to go down to classic physique weight. But again, if he's this heavy with this condition, I don't see 23 kilos or like 50 pounds of fat and water on this body. If he's going to go to classic, down to classic again, he's going to burn through a ton of muscle. So I don't know if that's really the idea. Also, with his shape and structure, he will never be able to crack the top 3 at the Mr. Olympia. That's not happening. The best possible outcome for him is what happened last year at Mr. Olympia, 4th place. And that's it, really, because he's already bigger and more conditioned than everybody at Mr. Olympia. He's already freakier than everybody, more conditioned, bigger, yet he is not beating those guys. Why? Because he does not have the classic structure. He's classic enough, of course. You can't be top 4 at the Mr. Olympia if not classic at all, but he is not classic enough to be the Mr. Olympia or top 3 the Mr. Olympia. And I think he knows that very well. Also, he's holding himself back. For example, his legs are not great. Not great. He doesn't have great shape in the legs, and if he wanted to grow them, he would get out of the weight cap. And it seems like they progressed a little bit. They're definitely bigger. I don't think he'll ever have crazy sweeps. His quads are just not shaped that way. But if he keeps growing, you can hide that. by growing your adductors, growing everything else, getting those lateralis as well bigger. So he can definitely make his physique look more complete in the open, but how successful will he be in the open? That's definitely a question. That's a risk. He already is a classic physique guy, but if he switches to the open, he would start like from the scratch. He was already an open pro before he moved to classics, so he can definitely go back and do well. I don't know if that's the plan, but he does look like a size freak right now. What do you guys think? Tell me down below in the comments. All right, the next thing is something I also have to mention, and it's an update from Brandon Curry. Now, I have no idea what is going on with Brandon Curry, why he's not posting anything. As a top athlete, a top Mr. Olympia athlete in the Auto Classic as well now, not showing a damn thing during the prep is weird. And he's not like off the social media. He is posting a lot of those weird angle exercises, super, really weird angles. So if he's doing that, he's active, he's making content, but for some reason he's choosing not to share his physique with us at all throughout this entire process. However, finally, we got something here. Even though he's wearing a tank top, you can still get the idea of what his level of muscularity is, what kind of conditioning he's bringing, how hard he is, and yes, this is looking very good. He is definitely one of those guys who are, right out of that top 4 fighting for 5th. That's the way I see it. That's probably what's going to be the case, even though it's hard to notice based on these videos, short videos and photos on IG, how much his physique really deteriorated. Because when you see this, you're like, this is same old Brandon Curry. But no, that's not the case. He was far better back in 2019, 2020. However, he's still good enough to fight against the very best. Maybe not beat them, but place in that top 5. So, yeah, I think Brandon Curry, based on this physique update, definitely has a big chance of cracking that top 5, placing 5th, actually. I don't know if Rafael Brandao can defeat this year. I mean, Rafa is young and fresh and he looks good, but Brandon is always very dangerous. Take a look at this guy once again. So the fullness is there, the size seems to be there, conditioning is also gonna be there. So yeah, I mean, it's only the matter of how much of his body melted in the meantime since the Mr. Olympia. If he still has the same size and fullness and he is this lean, then he might crack the top 5, he might place 5th, but if he's smaller and flatter, he might be beaten by a couple of guys, but we'll see. What I'm seeing right here looks very good. Again, the fullness is there, the conditioning is coming along. He seems so chill about it. He doesn't care about winning the Arnold. He just wants to compete, and he can compete at the highest level still. And I think with this kind of a mindset, your body is going to serve you longer. So yeah, I think he has that laid-back bodybuilder mentality, and it's working really well for him. He's going to be probably the next Dexter Jackson, competing for a really long time and still being in the top. Who knows? Maybe in a couple of years, when all the other guys start losing their body parts from necrosis, from injecting too much SEO, Brandon Curry might come back and win the Mr. Olympia or be in the top 2, the way Dexter Jackson did in 2015, I think. So we'll see about that. Brandon Curry looks great now, and he might actually crack the top 5 at the Arnold Classic. What do you guys think? All right, the next thing we got is something also really interesting. It's an update from Sergey Danilov. And you guys saw him compared to Quinton Araya, Hassan Mustafa, and the other guys. And we have an idea how big this guy is, but until we actually see him on the Mr. Olympia stage, we don't know for sure. Now, in this video right here, we'll get a chance to see how big he is next to one of the top classic physique competitors, Michael the Bull, especially the legs, but the upper body as well. Let's check out the video. So from the front, Sergey doesn't have the greatest quads. Obviously, they're much bigger than Mike's, but he doesn't have the best quad shape. From the side, though, a much different story. Look at those freaking hamstrings. And the quads from the side. And Michael the Bull is not a weak classic physique bodybuilder. He is a massive guy as well. Classic physique guys can be really big, but next to this 350-pound monster, he looks tiny, man. He looks like somebody who doesn't even lift. I mean, I don't know what Michael is doing right now, if he is doing an off-season prepping or maybe relaxing from everything, and that's why he looks this much smaller. But I don't think so. I think it's just Sergey being that much of a freak. I mean, all the top open bodybuilders are freaking freaks, but not many of them are like this. You know, you can see this kind of size only from Sergey and probably Samson Dauda and Andrew Jack, the taller guys, really. Sergey is tall, man, and him being this big, it's just so crazy. And here you can see him next to Michael DeBull, again, a solid classic physique competitor, and Sergey is just dwarfing him. He looks, he makes his leg look like he doesn't even freaking squat. He doesn't even train legs. So yeah, this guy is a freak, man, a freak of nature, and this starts more and more to look like he can actually be a really good Olympian, a really good top-level pro. What do you guys think about that? Tell me in the comments. And that's gonna do it for today, guys. Quite a few freaking topics today, all in one video. I wanted to test this out. You guys tell me, how do you like it if you got to this moment right here? Do you like more videos, more shorter videos, or one larger video like this one over 20 minutes? If you guys enjoyed this video, once again, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel for more content like this about bodybuilding. See you soon, guys. All the best, and bye-bye.